And I was like, well, you're just not trying hard enough, Crystal. You're just not trying hard enough. When you get to the root cause of your behavior and results, you're going to see that everything is tied to how you really feel about yourself, your inner image of self. Okay, you think in secret, and it's that little voice inside of you. Only I hear mine, and only you hear yours. We think in secret, and it comes to pass. Our life, our results are our looking glass. And so it was my lack of self worth. It was my feeling that no matter what, I was never good enough. Okay, because I was always being corrected. I was always being disciplined. I was always hearing you just have to try harder. I was my dad specifically would always point out what I did wrong in games, or how I didn't clean my room properly, or how I only got a C in this subject when I got A's and B's and all the rest. But it was the C that we focused on. It was the errors in my game that was focused on in my sports. It was that my room was good, but I left this over there. That wasn't good enough, right? So I had this theme, I had this programming built into my heart that it didn't matter what I did. It was never good enough. So my entire life I was living with this very strong belief system. I just didn't know that it was controlling my results, no matter what endeavor it was, but my personal life or my professional life. And so what happened is I was hearing all these things, and everything was coming into my mind, okay? And eventually that formed what we know as a belief system, okay? And that's in our subconscious. So I was hearing all these things, and I was observing all these things, and I was seeing all these things, and I was told all these things. And eventually, guess what? I just started to believe it myself. Well, you're never good enough. Doesn't matter how hard you try. Okay, and so that was showing up in all areas of my life. No matter how hard I tried, I was never good enough. And so therefore, I would typically get subpar results. So your relationship with yourself, how you really feel about yourself, what you think you can and cannot do, is determining your progress, success, and failures in life. So the way that you see you shows up in your finances, it shows up in your business, it shows up in your health, it shows up in your environment, like how you're living, your environmental, how you're living. It shows up in all areas of your life. How you see you, how you feel about you shows up in your life. So if you want your life to improve, you have to correct and change how you see you, what you think about you. And only you can do this. Okay? How it got there is irrelevant at this point, because only you can change it. Only you can change what you believe about you, your perception, your concept of you. When you change that belief system, when you change how you see you, that's when you're going to achieve these goals. So the only thing left, guys, in step 4 is you got to change you. That is step 4, because it's not going to happen on its own if you have these limiting beliefs running around in your heart or in your mind that says you're never good enough. Who do you think you are? What's your self-worth? Your self-worth is what you're earning every year. That's what your self-worth is set at. So it doesn't matter how hard you try, what you do, how many things you do, you're always going to have the same results until you change your self-worth setting. If your self-worth is set at 100,000, that's all you're going to be attracting. That's all you're going to be looking for. That's all you're going to get. If your self-worth is set at 1,000,000, that's all you're going to be looking for. And that's all you're going to be getting. But it is the only way. So step 4 is you've got to change how you see yourself. Now the kicker here is that you're not going to change unless what you're going after is a big, bold, beautiful, worthy goal, because it will not be worth the discomfort and the being uncomfortable and the growing that you have to experience in order to achieve beyond where you are. Okay, so make sure that when you look at what you want, that you're going after what you really want. Because if it's not worthy of a transformation, you will not do it. Okay? So number 1, People don't change unless the pain of staying where they are is greater than the pain they'll experience when they change. That's why your enough is enough moment is so important, because it has to be so painful. You have to decide, you have to get there, that it is more painful for you to stay stuck where you are than it is to change and to get uncomfortable and to grow. And you're not going to do that unless you know exactly what you want, and it's what you really want. Then you got to decide what you are willing to do, what you're prepared to give up. You have to be prepared to walk away from things that don't grow you, serve you, or make you happy. That's scary. That's scary. Even though the things that you have in your life aren't growing you, aren't making you happy, and aren't serving you, it's in your comfort zone. Okay? So your goal has to be beautiful and big and bold in order for you to be willing to leave your comfort zone, leave everything that doesn't serve you, grow you, or make you happy. Okay? And then you got to change you.